Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg saying he will not object to the former President Trump's sentencing hearing being delayed until after the election. His office says it's up to the judge in the former president's criminal trial, that is Judge Juan Merchan, to decide when that hearing should be held.
And it all comes after the Trump team requested to delay the September 18th hearing, claiming it would be election interference to hold it before the presidential race concluded, or even before Election Day. The hearing was previously pushed back from the initial July 11th date, so maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't on September 18th. Let's ask some attorneys, Michael Gottlieb and Eric Schwartzreich, both criminal defense attorneys. Great to have you both. So let's dive into the letter that Bragg's office sent, writing, "The people defer to the court on the appropriate post-trial schedule that allows for adequate time to adjudicate defendant's motion while also pronouncing sentence without unreasonable delay." Michael, a little bit of legalese here. Can you make sense of what's happening and when we might actually see a sentencing date?
Yeah, I think there's a tone from Bragg's office that, look, we're going to be as fair as we possibly can because we don't want any appellate claims, so if the judge wants to give a continuance, we'll let the judge give a continuance. But they are also saying without unreasonable delay. So we want to give Trump a continuance, but not too long.
And Eric, how does the election, obviously Election Day, November 5th, he's the Republican presidential nominee. This isn't just anybody here. This is different. This is somewhat unprecedented waters that we're moving into. What are some of the outcomes that you're hearing that could potentially happen with this case?
Good morning, Sean. We are in unprecedented waters, and usually prosecutors get what prosecutors ask for. Here, there's the can being kicked. Yes, I mean, they are deferring to the court. It is a signal, and what the law is, the signal that they're giving is, Judge, you should delay this. We have an election coming up. We have to be careful here. There was a conviction, but there is an election. We have to be careful about the weaponization of the presidency, and the signal that is being given is, Judge, we're asking for a reasonable request. I mean, it's the defense that's making this request, and the law that the judge has to apply is whether or not this is a reasonable request for a delay. And I think the prosecution is getting it right here. I mean, it is about the will of the people. Let the electors decide here what's going to happen, what the final outcome is going to be.
Yeah, we've definitely heard that from the Trump legal team, not to mention the initial issues that they take with the case being brought forward to begin with. So let's move past that. But Michael, based on what we've seen with this judge, who hasn't recused himself from this case, whose daughter, has openly worked with Democrats. He himself had made a small donation, but he chose a political party to donate to in the past, which he shouldn't have done, according to some ethics boards. Any indication about how he might rule on this Trump sentencing?
I think he's very likely to grant it. I think my colleague Eric is correct. They don't want to give anybody the opportunity to weaponize the court system for the political system. I think there's other things at play here, though. I don't think it really has anything to do with affecting the election. The MAGA Trump voters are gonna vote for Trump regardless of whether he's convicted or imprisoned. I don't think that really matters. But I think what you have here is the immunity claims, which are going to be ruled upon 24 hours prior to the sentencing. That doesn't give Trump's team the opportunity for due process, the opportunity for a proper appeal. So I think in all likelihood, the judge will be fair, as the judge has been, and grant a continuance.
Presidential immunity, that is one of the questions as well. We've had some legal experts come on, Eric, talking about this, if this plays a factor. Remember, this has to do with falsifying business documents. Does presidential immunity play any role in this, the recent decision by the Supreme Court a few months back?
Presidential immunity is the million-dollar question. We get down to the answer, Sean, of are these official acts? What happened in this trial is that while Trump was president, admitted into evidence were conversations that happened while Trump was president. So that is where I expect that the defense will hang their hat on. They want to take an interlocutory appeal, take it now, an appeal before there's a sentence, whether or not that's the appropriate remedy. But really what's at stake here is close to 50% of the American people want to vote for President Trump or 50% of the people. It is up for the people to decide. I mean, it's very dangerous when politics and law, to interact. No matter what side of the fence that you sit on here, we have an electorate. We've got people. We've got opponents on the exact opposite side with exact ideologies, and the American people need to decide. This will be a reasonable delay. We are in uncharted territory, uncharted waters.
Yeah.
But it's a president that was convicted. There is no ban on a president that has a felony conviction that can't hold office. Let the people decide, and I think it is reasonable under the situation. And I think that, to Michael's point, that Judge Merchan is going to grant the continuance and put this off until after the election.
Okay, because I don't think it's hard to understand that if you have a candidate who's locked up in Rikers, it'd be difficult to plan those campaign rallies and events where you get your message out to the public, although any of these indictments or even convictions haven't seemed to hurt Trump in the past when it comes to polling. Michael and Eric, thanks so much, guys, for coming on. Appreciate it.
Emma, Sean, thank you guys very much.